2 a.m. net will begin in approximately 5 minutes unless somebody else tells me they need the frequency. KC9UDX net control here.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Good evening. This is KC9UDX. My name is Matt and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kCs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and before I call for check-ins, I'm going to write down here N9CXK Carol. Welcome, Carol, to the net. And anybody else wishing to check in, please come now.
Good evening, Matt, W9JCC. Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Alright, 2 more for now. And sorry, Frank, you'd be at the top of the list if I didn't take Carol first. Recognizing Frank W9JCC, welcome to the net, and Dave WB9BWP, also welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please. Well, I guess not. Well, it looks like we dodged the severe weather this time. I thought we were going to have a repeat of a couple months ago. But I think that's going to hold off until tonight or late tonight or tomorrow. Probably really late tomorrow night. And other than that, I don't have too much to report. It's every day goes by the same here with me. I did get to spend some time outside trying to unwind and trying not to do anything and pondering a good way to put my HF antenna back up. And I didn't actually achieve anything. So it is still disconnected and discombobulated, and I don't even know where all of it is. And you can probably tell, but I am extremely tired. I'm just always sleep deprived lately since they've got me waking up at 3:21 in the morning every day. But for some reason today it's worse than normal. And with that, we'll go to the top of the list and see if Carol has anything interesting to bring to the net. N9CXK, it's your turn from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net, N9CXK. Okay, Matt, tonight my signal will be down. I'm running my radio stock here. I did some reorganizing in the shack here, and I didn't have time to get the amplifier back where it should be. So we don't have that going. But I've been watching the solar weather, and everything they predict doesn't pan out. We were supposed to have a CME arrival Thursday, Friday. Nothing really happened. We were supposed to have a CME arrival yesterday. Nothing really happened. So their predictions are a little off the beam, I guess. I will report that the Lions Hamfest was a success. It was a little small because of us changing the date at the last minute and all the other things that are going on around the area. So attendance was down, but all the diehards were there. Got to visit with everybody. We had a great time. Money and stuff exchanged hands. So it was all good, and it was a beautiful day too. Yeah, beautiful day. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we were at the Special Olympics on Saturday. That turned out very well for my daughter and her team. So they got gold medals, and that was kind of fun. It was a long day. We were at UW Whitewater in the activity center there, the field house. But they had all the doors open, and it wasn't too bad in there. So that was another nice day. Yeah, we had lots of a busy week last week, real busy. We had company over here 2 times during the week, and plenty to do. Plenty of cleaning, plenty of picking up, all that. So, back to the net. And 9CXK over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. And nice on the Special Olympics. I don't think I've ever been indoors at Whitewater. I've been outdoors for band competitions. That's about it, I think. Probably only twice that I can recall. And I haven't been to a ham fest of any kind in I can't remember how long. Actually, I think I can remember. The last one probably was the snowstorm one. I can't even think of which one that was, but we had a pretty good blizzard. And well, I guess I've been complaining about the same thing you noticed here with the solar predictions. I don't know that the predictions are necessarily wrong, or that if everything is just not happening. It's been that way for quite some time, and that's kind of why I haven't been paying attention, which is not good. Because when you don't pay attention, then when something does happen, you miss it. And I haven't even been keeping up with comets and things. But I guess part of that is because I'm always doing the same things every day. And it all gets very old. Hopefully going on a camping trip here in the near future. Maybe unwind a little bit. And next we'll go to Frank W9JCC from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX, W9JCC. And Matt, just give me a reading. Am I normal over there? Go ahead.
Sorry, Frank, I didn't catch the end of that. What was that?
Are you copying me as you normally do?
Oh, Roger, I can't check my receive meter because the needle will get stuck, but I'm guessing you're off the scale like always.
Okay, I thought it'd be okay. I got down here, and first, I hadn't been on for a while, and so I got you tuned in on the sub-receiver here on the TS2000, and then I noticed the S-meter wasn't too good. It didn't give any numbers. It just gave a lot of lines, so I didn't have the main on, what's the main on? It was probably on 40 meters. So I had to mess around and look around for a while until I found the VFO memory button. Boy, all this basic stuff, and I think I got it back on the main receiver now. So anyway, yeah, not too much going on. I didn't do a whole lot today except go to the gym and pick up groceries. And I gave the plants out there just a little bit of water because I think it rained overnight. The rain barrels have been full now for the last couple of days. I went out there to drain water out of them to save some water in gallons and so forth. And I no sooner do that, it rains again. So I checked them this morning and they were full to the top. I don't know. I didn't notice it raining last night, but I guess it did. So I don't have a whole lot more to report. Not too much else going on here. So So hearing everybody okay. I can hear Carol at 7. Good copy on Carol. You're about 35, 40 over 9 there, Matt. And so I'll turn it back to net control. KC9 UDX W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. Yeah, you're just playing very loud here, as always. I actually have to turn the volume down. The receiver gain, or receive audio gain. And then I always have to remember to turn it back up. And Carol, I did get you at a 6.1. I did dare to switch over to read the receive signal strength when you were transmitting, and I think normally you're like an 8, and surprisingly the needle did not get stuck. My transmit signal was a little bit higher than normal. I'm not exactly sure why. I did remember to turn the fan on the transmitter this month. That seems to help. And, well, with that, next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Good evening, all. Yeah, Carol is down, but still copyable. And Frank is, yes, very loud. And Matt, you're still also as normal. Good signal here. So I can hear everybody. That's what counts. I haven't paid attention to the space weather type stuff, but I do know 6 meters is open. It was jumping last night on FT8. I was on the MSOE net, so I didn't get over there for, I guess, the bulk of it, but I did get a half a dozen contacts in the middle part of the country, all zeros. And based on what I see spotting here, it's moving again tonight. There's 6s and 7s showing up in spotting. So 6 meters is open the last few days. I don't know what's happening on 2. I haven't really paid close attention there. And Hamfest-wise, yes, Matt, Blizzard Fest was the last MRAC Hamfest. Partly because we didn't want to deal with Elks Club anymore, and a whole lot of reasons. But yeah, that was the last one that we did. And we only lost like $150 or something, so that actually wasn't bad considering a foot of snow that came down and knocked attendance way down. They keep talking about trying Hamfest again, but the tough part is finding a place that's not going to take all of your profits. When we were at the Channel 10 auction building, that worked out well because they didn't know what they had, so it was really cheap. Then they got rid of the building because it was given to MATC, but it was in Waukesha County, and that would ruffle all kinds of feathers around the state. So then we moved over to the Elks Club, which just kept raising the fee every year. Didn't do anything to the place, but they just kept raising the rent. Yeah, anyway, you can tell I haven't done anything special because I can't come up with anything special to talk about. Stand by just a moment. The radio timer was going to kick off, so I thought I'd beat it to it. I did knock off a couple of W1AW portable stations. I got a Oregon last night. I forget what I got last week. And last night the Oregon one, right before the MSOE net, they were way down signal-wise. And there was this huge pileup. You would think it was some super rare DX. But the number of people there and the way they were screaming at them. But I made the contact, I can't remember, it was a short net, so I think I got it in right after the net. Conditions completely changed. Their signal was way up. There was no pileup. I got them on the first call. So, yeah, things are going on in the atmosphere. And I don't know if it's predictable right now. Anyway, before I babble too much more, I'll send it back to net. This is WP9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Fine business. You know, the thing I remember most about that Hamfest was not the snow. That was the first time I encountered Milwaukee County speed bumps in normal streets. I took some roads that I probably wouldn't normally take just because of the snow conditions and avoiding people, and I encountered some hidden hidden speed bumps, which was a really bad thing. I still to this day don't understand how they can, with a good conscience, put those things in a public roadway. I'll never figure that out. But you made me do something here that I haven't done in years. I turned on my 6-meter Conset, and I just quickly tuned in what sounded like PSK 31. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't listen long enough because you were talking. I didn't want to miss anything, but it seems to be gone now. Don't know exactly what it was or where it was from. But that's interesting. I haven't heard anything on that radio, and I can't remember how long. But it does help to turn it on now and then. I would say it needs it needs some capacitors, at least in the audio amplifier, if nothing else. Well, that's not PSK 31. I can't remember what that mode is called. And anyway, well, we're at the bottom of the list. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please.
KC9UDX. This is November 9, Foxtrot, Sierra Echo.
All right, recognizing and welcoming N9FSE Steve. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please. Hearing none, go ahead and take it away, Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
All right, thank you, Matt. Good to hear everyone out here. I started listening at 8:03, so just a little tardy. But I got you, Matt, at 20 over. Got Carol at S9. Got Frank at 9 plus 40 over, and Dave at 9 and 20 over. And I'm on the big shtick, so I'm probably heard by most. Good to hear about Lions being a success. Usually I'd be down there, but collided with our Washington County, the Washington County areas, Washington County Radio Club breakfast kind of thing. So I opted to do that in lieu of the wonderful drive into the country this year. Although I did drive into the country, it was free state park weekend, so that was pretty cool. And me and little Tommy first, N9EAW first hit the farmers market to see if the polka band is playing. We didn't see them, but we got a tour of the Bend Theater in West Bend, and next time they play there. And then we got out of there while it was still morning, and they were still playing in the park, so most of the breakfast crowd headed up to Lizard Mount State Park, which used to be a county park. Like this, a little power blink here. I heard a UPS kick in. Hope we don't have lightning outside. I probably should check on that too. But I'm well-grounded site, so I'll risk it for a little longer. And maybe somebody could check the radar if I don't bring it up. And I was going to check some more conditions here also. So 20 meters was pretty much crud after the first set of CME, and then everybody's been crying about 20 meters all week, and everybody's been saying how 6 meters is rocking and rolling. Just saw some notes on that too. 2 meters, I didn't see any enhancement due to auroral or other effects other than the usual slow to start here summer tropo season, and that's starting to kick in. We're finally getting connections across Lake Michigan like you see most of the summer. So lots of stuff going on. And I guess the next Hamfest that happens before our next net will be Sunshine Swamp Fest. And that's up at Fox Cities. Fox Cities Club puts that on. It's at Appleton at the, what's the new location? I should know this off the top of my head. But it's 500 East County Road Y. I can remember the address because it almost sounds like the WWV address. And so, see, I've had some other notes on W1AW. Somebody posted on the socials too that they were doing W1AW 6 meters from Jersey, and they were having good success also from that W1AW, but I bet you it wasn't as big a pileup. Had a great time at Dayton and collected various little things, so had fun with that. I don't know if we have a session, probably not. So we're going to turn back. We'll see, take a peek out the door here, see what's going on with the weather here. Matt, back to you, M9FSE.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. I hear a lot of digital stuff going on at 6 meters, and the receive needle is fluctuating like it is auroral stuff. I don't recognize any of it. I do. I recognize a familiar sound of one of the modes, but other than that, can't decode it or anything. I don't hear any CW. You mentioned WWV, and I guess I saw excuse me, I saw a notice the other day that CHU was going off the air, which is a pretty sad thing. But fortunately, we still have WWV. I haven't heard when that is going to happen or if it already happened. But that's what I heard. And again, we are at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please. All right, hearing none. Yeah, I don't know if there's any lightning yet. I don't hear any. I typically hear it in the distance on this radio pretty good. We had a power glitch here maybe a week ago, sometime real early in the morning, which is unusual. Power has been rock solid here, especially since I bought a generator. It's gone out one time for an extended period since I bought the generator, and I wasn't home to start the generator. And when I got home, I just wanted to go and get something to eat, so we went and got something to eat. And by the time we came back home, I thought I was going to be firing up the generator, but the power was on. So it was out all day until I had a chance to fire up the generator. And every year I say this, I need to fire that thing up because I never ever do. I never use it. So I should power it up, and it would be nice to know exactly what I can get away with running. Can I run my HF amplifier at the same time as the well pump and the air conditioning? I don't know. Not that I would need to do that, but it's worth knowing. And I guess I'll relate a story of something that happened to me today, just because we've got time here. So I decided to head straight from work downtown Waukesha and meet my wife and daughter for lunch. And that was a mistake. There was one of these trains blocking all of the roads in Sussex. The kind of train that goes forward one car length and then backward one car length and just keeps doing that. And so I was 20 minutes late getting downtown, so we went to a place we would not normally go to because the place we would normally go to was closed by then. And I think it was called Joey's Diner. I'd never been there before. Food was really good. And what I found kind of striking was the price was very low. I was just surprised how low the total was for feeding all three of us. It was very, very unusual. But I went to pay, and I tried to pay in cash, and the person behind the register looked at me like I was trying to do something nefarious. She really gave me a dirty look and said they don't take cash there, which really kind of floored me. I guess I don't desire to go back to a place like that. That's I don't know. That was becoming really common a couple of years ago, but it seems to be lightening up, I thought. I was just not expecting that at all. And fortunately I had another means to pay. I don't necessarily normally always have that. But we're at the bottom of the list. Let's go back to the top. Carol, N9CXK, it's your turn again from KC9UDX.
Oh man, I'm exhausted here. N9CXK. Very good, very good. Yeah, solar predictions have not been very good, but they seem to be enhancing 6 meters right now. Maybe in conjunction with sporadic E. I don't know. Yeah. The phone was open last night too. There were guys on there making contacts for hours on phones. So, but the phone band is very uncrowded. So if you want to make some fun contacts and actually talk to people, you can get on the 6 meter sideband. I didn't listen tonight. Yeah, like I said, I had the station all torn apart, and I took a shelf out of here and I added some more. There's like a table. Side table, but I added more shelves to it and stained everything, and it came out looking pretty good. So it's next to the desk here, and I pulled all the cables back, all the power cables, and I got a new 35 amp supply with a meter in it, and now I have two 35 ampers on the desk here, or near the desk. So I'm still adding power cords to each of those. Because I had a lot of cords attached to a lot of radios, took them all off, and now I'm trying to reinvent the wheel here. But I got rid of one 10 amp supply I don't really need in there. Not with two 35s here. It'll run everything. Just have to turn the big one on every time. So I'm spreading out the load between the two 35s, and then I got an RS15 or something. I don't know. About like a 12 amp supply. And that's good for all the VHF and accessories. So just gotta get all the cords back together, and of course put your power cords on these 35 amperes is not simple. One has nut and bolt connections, and the other one has binding posts. So, but they're big and heavy, and once you get them on the desk, it's kind of hard to get behind them, keep adding things. So I'm working my way around that. I only got maybe a cord or two to attach yet. But I'm very happy because a lot of times the 100-watt radios aren't happy if you don't have a good supply. You know, get 20 amp Astron. I have a couple of those, but they're not quite up to the job if you're really going to full output on some of the 100-watt radios. So I supplemented that, and I've got my 220 radio hooked up full time now with a good power cord and everything. So be listening on 220 a little more. Listening to nothing, but there is a Nightcrawler net on a repeater that's north of Chicago, and they come on around midnight, and they might be on for a couple of hours in the middle of the night. So that's kind of fun to listen to once in a while. They're linked all over. Oh, am I going to time out? Hang on. Okay, no time out. But there are some aspects of my station that are a little cleaner now. Some aspects that don't look any better, but yeah, I think we're good. Got some other work to do with all the antenna cables. We got to pull them all out of the side of the house here and lop them off. I think I want to do that, but because I have a beautiful box on the outside of the house with all the lighting arresters in it, but I never connected most of it. So I've got to pull all the cables back out of the house, cut them in half, re-terminate them. That'll be another project. That's a project for a sort of a warm weather day where I can sit on the roof and put connectors on. Wow, I must be lonely. Just keep talking and talking here. KC9UDX, N9CXK. Over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. Well, you reminded me, I said earlier I remembered to turn on the fan for the transmitter here, and the fan is not working because my 12-volt power supply is dead. I have not had a chance to pull that out and figure out why. It wasn't until you said that I remembered that. Mine is very, very much underneath my operating desk here up against the wall. Very far away and hard to get. And it fortunately is only used for that fan and a couple of mobile radios which probably don't even work anymore. Everything else here is 120 volt. My amplifier for 2 meters is 12 volt. But I haven't used that in ages. Everything else here can be wired for 12 volts except for the KW. But I don't like to run it that way. I'll run it this way until I can't. And next we'll go to Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks Matt, KC9UDX, W9JCC. And somebody mentioned lightning. I pulled my phone out and brought the weather bug up. It looks like there's a big line of stuff out in the Dakotas. I think that's what's coming tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. But I didn't see anything here around Wisconsin. Hopefully that's the case because I'm down here in Studio B and I can't see anything from down here. There's no windows where I am. There's windows in the rest of the basement, but not in the ham shack. This is kind of our place in case we get a tornado. But I don't think we're going to have anything tonight. And I think I mentioned it to some of you guys, but if anybody has any event called Westfest, which is going to be an all-day event from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. And it's kind of come whenever you want, and there's going to be some food provided. And if you want to set up something for field day, you can do that. And it's kind of a big get-together over at the farm. And if anybody is interested and wants a flyer, just let me know and I can email it to you. But the guys that are heading it up are Bill KX9M and Tom W9TRW. Yes, getting stopped by the train is no fun. I cross those tracks just about every weekday. I cross them mainly in Waukesha. And one day I got stopped both times, going to the gym and coming back. But I've been pretty lucky so far. And I've had some, years ago I had some pretty bad stops at one over on Moreland. I was coming home from someplace, I think I was out to Coles out there, or Farm Fleet, one of those places. And got back and the train was just starting to get through, and I waited and waited. There was a lot of cars backed up. I happened to be near the front of the line, and he must have gone on for 10 minutes or so, and then he decided to go in reverse. Okay, I think I must have timed out. Anyway, I went in reverse, and that's when I had a way of getting out there. And I just went back down Moreland all the way to the interstate and got back. Anyway, Ashton Power Supplies, I had two of them and I got one. I got rid of the big one. Something is not working right here. Okay. But I got rid of the big one, sold it online, and after I put it online, I said, holy cow, hope nobody lives too far away, because the postage is going to be crazy. They didn't allow for the postage on it, and I think the postage was about $50, and I was trying to sell it for maybe 55 or 60. So it went all the way out to Oregon, and but I still kept the small one. I used it for some 2-liter 1240 mobile rigs in the basement here. So that's about all I got on this one. We'll turn it back to net control. And I'll probably make this my 7-3 round. I'll listen for a little bit afterward, and then I'm going to head upstairs. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. I guess we'll say 7-3 to you. It's good having you here. And I did switch the meter over, and yeah, you're pegging the needle here right at 10, and it does not go any higher than 10. Well, that's where it always that's where it always is when you are transmitting. Well, I was going to say that I think the worst the worst time I had stopping in a train, I have it on video. A guy got out of the engine at the front of the train and walked the entire length of the train. And then slowly walked all the way back. I got the whole thing on video. It's on YouTube somewhere. But I was coming home from work that day, and I was probably grateful for stopping and waiting, catch some rest instead of falling asleep and having a problem. When I worked third shift, I probably got more sleep driving than I did sleeping. Glad those days are over. But now it's nearly as bad. I guess I'm very lucky because if the people that decided that we start at a stupid time in the morning had their way, we'd be starting an hour and a half earlier. Fortunately, they didn't get their way in that. And, oh, Carol, I was going to say, you mentioned the felines going out through the wall. I've got the same thing here. My problem is I've been meaning to do this for well over 10 years. I want to have a bulkhead with bulkhead connectors for all of the connections in a box on the outside of the house instead of right now all the cables just go outside and go wherever, which is very inconvenient. But on the other hand, they've been there so long and I haven't had to mess with them anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Anyway, what do I have? I've got 3 pipes going out of the house. My stuff in the basement. And, all the feed lines go straight out. I started with 2 a few years ago. We had the laundry moved upstairs. That gave me the old dryer vent, which was bigger than the pipes that I had. So now I've got plenty of capability to say. And I've often thought over the years of trying to fancy that up. Well, it didn't get anywhere. Speaking of antennas, I like looking. I check yours out every day to see what's for sale, just because. I see someone. I go to Oklahoma, but you can have a 48-foot round tower with a Cushcraft beam on top for $100. But she's got to take it down and then bring it back. Anyway, the CHU thing, I think. I want to say the 22nd, which is a Monday, and that sounds weird, but I'm going to say somewhere by the end of the month is when it's supposed to be turned off. And I guess they've been getting a bunch of letters and things up there about that. I don't know if that will make any difference. I know WWD was, I don't know how close it was to being turned off, but a few years ago, Congress was getting real crazy. They wanted them to cut the budget or something, and the management out there said, well, the only way we can do that is to shut the station down. But then, they suddenly found some extra money, and everything was okay. And then it never came up again, so I'm not sure what is going on out there. The no cash thing, I just heard somebody the other day talking about going into a McDonald's where, there's nobody at the counter. And he wanted to pay cash and there was no way to do it. Finally, he let him go around to the drive-thru on foot. And that's the only place that he could take care of the cash. That all started during the COVID days, and I guess places have decided, well, hey, that's a lot easier. Back when I was going to school, I worked in an Italian restaurant. When I started there, stand by just a moment. When I started there, we had all the prices. We didn't charge separate tax, but we had all the prices end on the nickel. And the reason was we didn't want the waitresses to try to handle pennies because most of them couldn't figure that out. Now, that was back in the early 70s. It's worse today. What else? Astron Power Supplies. A few years ago, before he passed, Stan, can't remember his call. He was a club member and he worked over at AES. He came into 2 power supplies from somebody whom he said like to dig into their stuff for no apparent reason, a 50 and a 70 amp Astron. And neither one of them were working. I got the 50 working. He said if I would get at least one working for him, I could keep the other one. So I got the 50 working. That was easy. The 70, which I still have sitting on the shelf here, I figured out where all the problems are. I got the parts. And then I was going to clean it up, pull out the path transistors, and clean up the grease, put some silicone pads on them. Well, that guy that had it decided he didn't trust the socket. So he soldered all the transistors into the socket. And I tried removing one, and it just was not working out. And so that's when I put it on the shelf, and I feel like, oh, I'll get to this someday. It's a variable voltage, 70 amp Astron, weighs a ton. I've got a 35 that runs the HF radio. And MRAC meeting, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 20th. Can't tell you what the program is. Not even on the website. So, that's a surprise. That's also the Oshkosh Hamfest, I believe. Anyway, with that, I'm back to net. This is WB9DWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Fine business. And I don't know why I was listening and not writing things down. I was going to comment on something, and now I can't for the life of me remember what it was I was going to comment on. But I guess I will say one thing about that situation with WWV. I do remember that. And I remember thinking at the time, oh, it sure would be nice if the government would just sell that to somebody private and they could run it off the donations. I'm pretty sure people would be more than happy to donate to that. I think that would be a really good arrangement, get the government out of it. But that's my opinion of most things, I guess. And next we'll go to Steve N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Alright, yeah, I got a lot of scribbling notes here. And thanks to Frank for bringing up Field Day. I'll be with our usual 38 group though. So if they maybe get at some other get-together going in summertime, maybe I can make it around to that. But those have always been decent outings, I'll put it that way. And yeah, I looked out the door. It was just dripping a little bit, not enough to have any lightning bolts. So I don't know what the flash or power glitch was. Maybe somebody crashed into a power pole somewhere or something. Some usual mayhem like that, or other issues. VHF contest is coming up too. Just going to Dave Boat here. That's this weekend, or maybe the 20th thing too. I got to check on that. And I think it sounds like you got it right on June 22nd for CHU shutting down. And so if you're got a Kiwi or use somebody's Kiwi on the web, get out there, put the extension in the CHU mode, and you can decode that FS key that sounds wacky that they send out all the time, and get a printout of the actual time. So there's one thing to do before they're done. Maybe even a good recording or something for the YouTube for posterity. But who knows? I think Canada. There may be no stopping them. I think they talked about shutting down their weather, and I think they did the weather transmitters. So see what happens with all that as time goes. So pretty crazy stuff there. And let's see, I don't have any comments on Lions since I wasn't there with Carol and all. Joy's Diner, yeah, it's pretty crazy they don't take cash, because I looked them up on the phone here, and it's like there's sort of a throwback cafe kind of thing, a lot of Betty Boop around, and diner-style things, and it's supposed to be a throwback. Well, why would they take cash? That's the ultimate throwback, isn't it? You go back before cash, you'd have to throw gold coin or something at them, or who knows what, chicken. But there's no sign on the Facebook or the website that they favor plastic money, so go figure. And let's see here. I think Stan's call is not Kitty 9AUY, and yeah, you have trouble too, don't you? I don't even solicit for repairs, and I get in trouble because I don't fix their time they get the stuff that for repairs I wasn't looking for, or say I'm good at repairing, but that happens, I guess. And let's see here. Let me switch hands here. Stand by one. Gotta get a foot switch and a headset going here, then I'll really be set. And I did invite NI90E, but he was kind of hanging around home. But at least I got him to dust off the HF gear lately, so maybe I'll catch him on another mode here. Speaking of HF and leading up to Dayton and after Dayton, I've been watching more forums at double speed and all that, getting educated on stuff I never thought I'd look into. I was looking at last year's Dayton forums, and this year's Dayton forums, and 4 Days in May forums, which I'm amazed that's published there. And there's the Darrow ones are tricky because unless somebody throws in the legend, you sort of have to have your flyer at hand so you know what forum was in which room on what day, because it goes the whole day in a single room on the YouTube videos. But there's some neat stuff coming around, and the 4 Days in May vendor night, we crashed that, and it was awesome. I haven't been to that in a couple of years, and took a couple more hams from our group, a couple of photo guys, Jeff and his brother-in-law Todd to the show there, and they were enjoying that as well. And if you want to see where innovation and the smart cookies are, and all the stuff that maybe even you can do, because a lot of it turns into QRP kits. Any of the QRP guys, whether it be the ARCI that does 4 Days in May, but just check that stuff out. It's amazing. And one of the videos is just before Dayton, they announced that there's a ham couple, and they came up with this idea. They wanted to come out with a really cheap, really easy kit, and so it's like half a kit. So you got linked a couple of toroids, attach a display, and attach a couple of BNCs, and drop it in a 3D printed case. And it's called Pebble HF, and there are a few early versions out there, and I'm still waiting for the general release, which they say they'll email me, and I'm going to have to sign up. They want it to be under $50, and it does. It does CW, it does AM, and a sideband. It's got a mic built in and a little key built in, and it's just an amazing, and a code reader, and it's just amazing the amount of features. They want to get $50 for it, but I saw one character said, 100 is what they said on, somebody said, but I bet you're trying to keep it at that, so we'll see when those start coming out. There's a couple of videos of people building them. One was done live with the ham radio duo guys on photo couple there themselves, and another one was Ara, and 6ARA did one on a Soda Peak in just around 30 minutes. I can't believe they keep a soldering iron on a mountain peak, but they did all right. Got it together, made a quick contact on it. Lots of fun stuff going on. Check the Blitzer tongue. Yeah, I got no lightning here. And VHF, I've checked the VHF propagation. It's sort of the usual stuff, one little bit across the lake, and nothing too crazy. I was going to try looking at 6 meters, but I don't have the link I do on the computer. But that, there's a whole bunch of chew on there. With that, back to you, Matt. KC9UDX at 9FSC.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. Yeah, that Joey's Diner, it is a 1950s theme, very much so. I never appreciated that. It doesn't bother me, I guess. But I didn't appreciate, I was telling my wife I didn't appreciate the 1950s nostalgia thing when it started in the 1980s, I guess. Didn't like it then, don't like it now, but it doesn't bother me. And it's possible I ran into a waitress that didn't know how to take cash. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back there someday and find out. Excuse me. And now I derailed my train of thought. $50 is unimaginable for something like that, I guess, in this day and age. I would say, but I suppose it's possible. It's kind of hard to imagine. I don't know, maybe I should get something like excuse me, something like that for my daughter. Maybe get her interested. Speaking of which, I need to get my son to get interested in getting licensed too. Somebody is still transmitting on 6 meters. I don't have the audio gain turned up, but I can see the meter going, so. We are at the bottom of the list. Do we have any last-minute check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please.
Contact.
Yeah, go ahead.
WJCC. Sitting here listening, and I know I signed out, but I'm going to pass along my 73. As far as the cash-only thing there, Matt, my barber takes only the cash. So, there's a few places still out there. Anyway, I'll say 73 is everybody good here. Good hearing everybody, and we'll say 73 is back to you, Matt, WNJCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. I'll say 7-3 to you again. And yeah, I know there are places that still only take cash, which is good. And hopefully that stays that way for a while. I was interested to learn that people in other parts of the country are using goldbacks as legal tender. They're using them in day-to-day transactions. I was really surprised about that. Goldbacks are what they look like paper currency and look like normal dollar bills, but they are made out of gold. Very, very thin gold leaf. And anyway, we're at the bottom of the list. Do we have any last-minute check-ins? Come now, please. Hearing none, and still hearing no lightning, which is good. So we'll go back to the top of the list. We'll make this the 7-3 round, and as always, there is no restriction on how long you talk on the 7-3 round on the 2 a.m. net, so take your time, say whatever you like, but this will be the last go around. Carol, it's your turn, and 9CXK from KC9UDX.
Sorry, I was talking on 6 meters and 9CXK. Yeah, I don't hear anything on 6 tonight. I dialed around, but I didn't go listen to FT8. Not very interesting to me. The Lions Jam Fest was nice. I say it was nice because I had a good time, but it was very small. I think maybe we broke even on the park this time. Yeah, I have a couple of 20 amp Astrons, but they're just at that level where a lot of times the 100 watt radio will want a little more current. I have both of those. I guess I'll probably sell them. But I have the 235. That will kind of power everything I'll ever get there. I guess it wouldn't power a great big linear amplifier, but I have a 2 meter, so it says a 2 meter amp. And that and the radio that's powering the amp, they both peacefully coexist on the big supply. Yeah, I'll be fine for a long time. And I do have a little 10 meter amplifier I wanted to try. With a lower powered radio. And Matt, there's one of the guys I talk to often on 10 meters is N9I2Q. He just loved collecting stuff and fixing it. He has 3 of those Gonset G50s. I think that's the 6 meter one. He has them all fixed up. All 3 of them all fixed up, all working, all transmitting and receiving, just up to spec. So I always want to say, well, why do you need 3 of them? But I understand if you have a couple, then you have spare parts for the other one. But he's just picked up enough parts and tubes and things to make them all go. If I had a bigger station here, maybe after I'm to get one of those. They're so big. I can pack so much solid state stuff in the same spot. So, anyways, what's going on? There's a conjunction of, I don't know, a couple of planets in the late afternoon, early evening. But I'm not sure I'd have to look that up too. Other than that, the lake is, during the week, the lake is beautiful, calm, and clear, and nice, until the yahoos get here for the weekend. And it starts to get cloudy, and there's chewed up weeds all over the place, and there's a lot of wave action, so we don't typically go out in our boat during the weekend. During the week, we go out, take our lunches out, cruise around, that's kind of fun. So I can't think of anything else here. But yeah, it saddens me to see that CHU is going away. I've listened to that my entire life. And I just couldn't even believe that they would turn off all the weather transmitters. But I guess they have a strong lobby against RF. So, and it was, Dave, several years ago they were going to turn off WWV, but I guess we should
That sounded abrupt.
Oh. Yeah, see, this doesn't even tell me it's kicking out. Anyways, I'm saddened to hear about CHU. WWV was going to go off, but it's coming back. But it is back, and they're even transmitting at 25 meg. A lot of nights here, I've been hearing all the way up to 25 megahertz late in the evening. So conditions are quite interesting. Sorry about timing out. Yeah. N9CXK. Over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Say 7-3 to you. And I have heard WWV on 25 megahertz since they started doing that. I got my daughter a little HF receiver one year, and it was interesting to pick that up on there. Excuse me. I have 3 Drake TR3s. I used to have, I think, 3 2-meter Gonsets. No, I had 2 2-meters and 1 6-meter. I still have 1 2-meter and 1 6-meter. I sold the other 2-meter one, and I regret that. But, oh well, that was a long time ago. I have 3 TR3s because I originally bought one of them in poor condition thinking I could fix it. I believe somebody tried to convert it to 11 meters. And I almost got it working, and then I bought one that somebody had destroyed for parts to use parts out of it. And I think I actually amassed enough parts to put both of them all the way back together if I had to. But then I bought a really nice condition one at the South Milwaukee Hamfest at the MRAC table. And I can't remember the call sign of the guy that passed away who owned it. It's written on the inside somewhere. But it's in immaculate condition, and I just used that one, and I kind of gave up on the other 2. But one of them I will take it outside and operate it portable sometimes. I haven't done that in a long time. I should do that again. Anyway, next we'll go to Dave. It's your turn on the 7-3 round WB9 BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember who the TR3 came from. And, since you mentioned it, as I take a look, South Milwaukee comes up before the next AM net, so, what is that? That's the 11th of July is South Milwaukee Hamfest. I'm sorting through my stuff to see what I got. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have way too much in the $1 and $2 bins in the sizable dollar stuff. But that's the way it goes. As I go through my collection of things here and going, what am I going to do with this? At least I still know what everything is. Some of the stuff, I remember a time when the last place I had a real job I worked at, the boss decided the lab needed to be cleaned out. Had the entire department go in there and dig through all the drawers and cabinets. And people would pull out stuff and it's like, what is this? And nobody knows. Anyway, yeah, I've done plenty of talking tonight. So, I will say 73 to everybody that can hear any of this. And it's always good having something different here, and that's what the AM net does. Oh, and I was going to mention that, it happened this past Sunday. It was their second one, but MSOE guys have decided to try a float scan TV net for the first Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. on their repeater, 145.27. They've had a couple of people on each one, but they're worried about, should we continue this? I said, it takes time. Stick with it for a while. Anyway, once again, let me treat everybody out there. This is WB9 BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. Say 7-3 to you. I am set up for slow scan TV, or was. I could probably do it quickly again if I had to. That would be interesting. I also, I guess I'd have to put everything back together again, but I do have amateur TV capability. Analog. not digital. I did do that for a while. Actually, I did that before I put this net on YouTube. I was doing it on there. And I had plans of simulcasting on 6 meters. And I guess now would be a really good time to have that. But that never happened. I just never get time to do anything. Well, it sure would be nice to go to the South Milwaukee Hamfest, just because I haven't been there in so many years. But we'll see. I went to put it on my calendar and it is already on there. So that's good. And next we'll go to Steve and 9FSE. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Alright, well, maybe I gotta keep an eye out for a TR3 now. We have one of our new guys, Dayton, MILTA, had his own vehicle, and a good thing because he found 7 Johnson Valiants. He loaded them all up and took them all back, and then he hurt his back moving them around. But hopefully he gets one or more of them going, and he's hoping to get a bunch of them going and maybe move some of the repaired ones down the road. Dave, before you, 73 to Frank, Dave, before you run, did I call that stand correctly, GD9 AUI?
Yep, that's him.
Scooper. Should probably ID once in a while, too. N9FSE. Keeping lax at that and noticing other people lax at that occasionally. I'm not calling anyone out here because I haven't been paying attention here. Let's see here, but pretty good, Carol, on N99PQ is pretty good with the big iron and the smaller iron too. The first KW1 I saw was over by him years ago. I've been over there forever, but that was a good show a long time ago, and it was a young, easily influenced amateur radio operator. It's good to hear old Kenny come around and do his W9 act. That's always I find that entertaining. See if I got anything else scribbled down on the ones, not as many. And gosh, I think went over everything. Good to hear all the topics coming around again as well. And I'm running out of steam. Other than I could tell everybody keep an eye. That's my last note. Severe weather. I had multiple rounds of some crazy storms. I guess the earliest ones maybe just afternoon tomorrow and then an evening set, and then a morning set on Thursday, and I think that one may be on a system collapsing in Iowa or something, but it all depends on a lot of factors. Weather Service is doing a best job they can looking at this. But to show you some of the commenters on the Facebook, crying about how bad the forecasting is, and I don't know, I think they do pretty good with the models and all the high-tech stuff they do, because it's up to me to forecast anything. All I got is a rain gauge, a wind vane, and an anemometer, and the wind vane doesn't even work on my thing without the Weather Service, and a barometer, and so I can tell you the storm could be coming, but I ain't going to be able to start to guess whether it's going to be just a gentle rain shower or derecho or a tornado, so it's kind of handy to have all the weather guys around. So, just also mention one other thing, and it's something that gives me a little bit of heads up once in a while, is a couple of sites I have on Facebook for 6-meter openings and 2 sideband and whatnot, so that's pretty neat. That's what we got on this round. 73. Good to hear everybody out here yet again, and look forward to more crazy stuff and more reports of local and extended events.
Thank you, Steve. We'll say 7-3 to you. And this is KC9UDX. And I apologize because I'm starting to fall asleep here, so I was paying attention. Just don't remember anything. And of course that brings us to the end of the net. Well, Steve, if you're interested in a TR3, maybe you'd be interested in repairing one. I'd happily give you the parts one and all the parts if you thought you'd be interested in putting that back together. I don't know. There's probably perfectly working ones out there that go for cheap enough. Nobody wants a TR3. Everybody wants a TR4 or the 4 separates. Anyway, I will say this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag chew on this frequency after my transmission. We will meet again on the 14th of July, which is the latest day in the month that the 2 a.m. net will be on. Earliest is the 8th. Latest is the 14th. And until then, of course, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. We wouldn't have anything without everybody checking in. And then, of course, I wouldn't have any amateur radio activity anymore at all. But until next month, this is KC9UDX 7-3, and good night.
Good night, Matt. I thought I was paying attention too, but I definitely missed some parts of the conversations there. And then I did not realize it was the 73 round. So 7-3, everyone. Have a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you very soon. N9CX.